The first card you have your past is the Lovers. So before I say anything about this, just looking over this whole reading, because I really, when I meditated on these cards, I shuffled, put them down, meditated on them, right away I had this big love feeling here, this big love feeling. And it wasn't just love, it was this overwhelming feeling that this is a big turning point. This is a big reading. So I was just getting this big. And, you can see you've got the Ace of Pentacles, you've got the Sun, you've got the Lovers, and you've got the Ace of Swords right above that. So very big, Wheel of Fortune. So I can just feel that right away. So I'm just going to start with the first card and work down, and hopefully we'll come up with what this is all about. We'll try and sort this out. So so with the Lovers card, very interesting card. It's a really complex card. It's where everyone knows this that watches this channel. Usually most people know a bit about the tarot, so it's obviously a lot more than love. It's about choices. It's about who's more interested than who. It's about good and evil. It's the Garden of Eden, lots and lots of different things. Looking up to your higher purpose, it can be that. So many things. But what I'm really looking at here is, because I'm looking at this card and I'm looking at the Wheel of Fortune under there, and what's standing out to me here is this snake. There's a snake in both those cards. Obviously in the Garden of Eden, there's a snake behind this woman here, behind Eve. And in the Wheel of Fortune, there's a snake just on the left-hand side, and it's just coming around the wheel. So what that makes me think of is shedding things, shedding people. I think you were getting rid of, I shouldn't say getting rid of, but distancing yourself, maybe thinking about who you don't want around you anymore. Other things as well, it's really about shedding your old self, all the bits you don't need. And we're all kind of getting the chance to do this right now, where we're sitting back, we're reassessing a lot of things about our lives. And the Lovers card again can be about choices. So I think you've had to make a few hard choices, actually. Who do I want around me? Who enriches me? This is the big one, who brings to me and who takes from me? Because you're a giver. You're naturally very emotion-centered. You're very sensitive to others' needs. Who's like that to you? So I think you're starting to think that, or you were at this time. And just looking at the Wheel of Fortune again, I may as well talk about the two of them together. It looks like maybe you've literally had someone taking from you, asking you for favours. Something like that, because this wheel's kind of going around and around, and we've got this jackal coming around the bottom, and jackals are really kind of sneaky creatures. So someone's been asking you for favours over and over again, and I think you've kind of said no to them. I think their luck's run out in the Wheel of Fortune, so you've said no more drains. I give what I can when I can. No more to people who take from me when I'm giving. So I've got that, and it's all part of this shedding. And I think you've had a lot of people around you who've been really sort of me centric, if that makes sense, especially on social media. And you're quite sensitive, not in the way that you're kind of crying all the time. Well, sometimes you can be, but you're sensitive toward how others are feeling. And so this is about people who don't match that for you. Same thing again. So getting rid of people on social media, lots and lots of shedding. And I think when all this shedding's finished, you'll have less weight on your shoulders. And I think this is the start of you really making some big changes in your life. And while we're all sitting here in quarantine or whatever, this gives us a chance to think about all those things. So I think that might be what you're starting to do. Because I'm seeing you coming out of this time, where we're all shut away, a lot lighter, feeling a lot lighter, ready to take on what's out there without this weight on your shoulders. So this is a really big process. And I was getting this when I first looked at these cards. I shuffled, put them down, I meditated, and I could see big things here and preparing for big things. Okay, so there's something else here, just with this Wheel of Fortune. Someone's had a loss. Because Wheel of Fortune can be ups and downs. So I think someone has been through a few downs, something to do with money, jobs. Lots of people are going through that right now. Now, there's lots and lots of love in this card. So it might be your partner that's having a job problem, money problems. There's lots and lots of love here. And I feel as if I have to say that there's lots of love, because it feels quite unsure with you around love. I'm getting that here, so maybe that's why I have to say that. But if this is you, if you're feeling someone pulling away from you right now, or if they've gone a bit quiet, or someone like that. Now, it might be an actual relationship, might be someone you're just talking to, might be someone who's a bit on and off with you, but there's love here. You might be separate. Again, I'm getting that. So, yeah, I'm getting a bit of a separation, maybe. So, yeah, if they're pulling away, because I'm getting that, whatever that is, separation, pulling away, if you're feeling that and if you're stressed about that, there's a lot of love here. There's a lot of love here. And if this is about work stress around them, if you've got a partner and they're worried about their job or whatever, just give them a little bit of a space right now. Because I think as a Cancer, you can feel all these little shifts in other people's moods, very tiny shifts, even little things. It's like when someone close to you feels something, it's almost like a ripple in the water. And kind of, if they're standing in one place, if you imagine they're standing in one place in the water, and you're standing in another place, and they move their hands around or something, and there's a little ripple, and it goes over, it moves over to you, and you feel that. That's how you are about feelings. So you feel all these little shifts, and I think that's probably what you're feeling, even if you're separate from someone who there's love, where there's a love connection, you still feel that coming from them. So, and also I think at this time I'm getting this feel to be by yourself. And a lot of people are going through this right now, even though they're isolated, they're feeling as if I'm so stressed. I've got all this stress in my head. It's kind of like a cloud, and it's really taking my energy, and I really don't have as much energy for people as I used to. So there's that, and you really feel people's energy as well. So you might be going through that as well. But what I really feel is, if I have to keep on saying this, I don't know why, it's just, I have to say this. There's love between you and someone else here. A lot of love, lots of love here. So yeah, the last card you have for your past is Judgment. Yeah, so, okay, so just looking at the wheel again, I'm just getting lots from this wheel just before I say anything about this. So yeah, you've been going through a few emotional ups and downs yourself, I think. And it feels very fast ups and downs, almost second by second. It's like you're up 1 second, down another second. And very, very different, because you do have emotions. You do have, obviously have emotions, but you have a lot of emotional ups and downs. And it feels quite different this time. It feels like a different kind of thing. There might be tears here as well. So yeah, this is really just you picking up on a lot of these people's energies, really similar to what I've seen, but it's on a huge scale now with everything that's happening. So if you're an empath, or if you're just a natural Cancer that does feel things, you're going through a lot of that right now. It's going to pass as we work through this process as a collective. And yeah, so this can be about new beginnings, this card, new life. Did I say justice or judgment? I hope I said judgment. Sometimes I accidentally say justice instead of judgment. I hope I said judgment. Yeah, judgment. So yeah, new life, new beginnings, and that's what you're preparing for, whether you realise it or not. You might not realise it. You might just think, oh, I just want to get rid of all these people and things I don't need anymore. But that shedding process is the start of you going toward this new life. And that's when we get out of this quarantine time. Look at these people. They're literally, I'll just show you, literally opening up their boxes and getting out of their boxes. And that's when we all open our doors and walk outside. It makes me emotional, actually, because it's very sad when people haven't been able to do that as a world. And now, eventually, we're going to be able to do that. But you're preparing for that time now. You're preparing with the shedding. And okay, this is a little bit strange, but I have to say this. This is about love. Now, if you're with someone, or even if you're not with someone right now, a love connection, but you know that this is a very strong connection, if you feel that this is a super, super, super special, super strong connection, if this is you, how do I say this? If you're in some kind of love connection and you feel as if you've known them even before you've met them, if that makes sense to you, it will if that's you. there's no reason to doubt this connection. This is a very, very special person, and they're always there. Even when they're not there, they're there. I hope that makes sense to someone. I can really, really feel that. Okay, I just touched my microphone. I hope that didn't make a noise or whatever. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Ace of Swords. And yeah, so look at this. Look at these two aces. So they're right next to each other. One's on top of the other. So the sequence is really important here with these two aces. And I never see this. I never see them positioned like this. So again, that feeling about someone in love, a love connection, if you feel as if you've always known them, or you've always felt them around you forever, it's kind of that feeling of, you know, sometimes when you meet someone and you think, I've known you all my life, even though I've just met you. So you've had that feeling about this love connection, if this is you. If that resonates with you, again, this is a very, very big, huge connection. Very, very special connection. And I think right now, because I've seen this separation, some kind of separation or distancing, and I was seeing that in the Wheel of Fortune. So again, maybe they've got other problems. Maybe that's why they're distancing from you, or it might just be that they're literally at a distance. But there's something very, very solid between you. You've got the Ace of Pentacles under this, solidity, stability. And I'll just show you the sequence, this very special sequence between the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. The order of this is really important, and what's in the two of them as well, and the sequence. So yeah, it looks like where you are now, both of you, is in the Ace of Swords. So you're both in the Ace of Swords now. Now there's this big sword in the middle, and you've got these two branches on either side. One's an olive branch, one is a palm leaf. So one represents male, one is female. The palm leaf is a male. Now that, again, doesn't mean, I always have to explain this, it doesn't mean this is a relationship between a man and a woman. It could be any relationship here. So you're like that. You're balanced like that. You've got this special relationship between each other, but there's something in the middle. So something bothering you, might be a problem, might be social distancing. It's some distance between you. So that's what's showing up in that card. Now, if you look at the landscape at the bottom of that card, it's completely barren. You know, just complete mountains. There's no, you know, there are no trees, no grass. So maybe you are talking, maybe you're not talking, but maybe you are talking, and maybe the conversation's dry, like the landscape. It might be that as well. But this sequence is showing you that this is going to pass. The time's going to pass with the Wheel of Fortune spinning around, and the time's going to pass, and you know, you're going to come into something stable, which is the Ace of Pentacles. So if this is you, if you're truly feeling what I'm explaining here, you can see the difference between the two landscapes. The Ace of Pentacles is all about springtime, growth, beautiful fresh starts, all that kind of thing. So you're going to come out of this Ace of Swords position, and you're going to go into the Ace of Pentacles position. So don't doubt this. Do not doubt this love connection if this is you, if you know that this is you. And this is about coming out of stress as well, coming out of stress into calm, into feeling more stable money-wise, this huge coin here. So if you are with someone who's going through money problems, they're going to come out of that, they're going to come into stability. And, you know, obviously we're all in difficult times. Energies are shifting everywhere. People's emotions are everywhere. And no one feels like this card. No one feels like the Ace of Pentacles. Well, some do, but most people don't feel all that stable right now. But we're going to come into that. So I think maybe what this is telling you as well as is when you come back together and you come into this time where you're coming to a more solid relationship, it might be at the end of this period when we're all distancing each other, because in this time we're not stable. We don't have the Ace of Pentacles around us right now as a collective, but we are going to when we come out of this situation. So maybe that's when you're going to come back together properly and start together as a more stable union. So that's kind of what I'm getting there with those two. It's absolutely beautiful. I just want to explain that to you and how I could see all that. Okay, so the last card you have you present is the King of Swords. And yeah, so again, with this love connection, because I kept on seeing this, these problems, financial problems, all that around this person, around someone you're close to, maybe this love connection, it looks like it might be them. So they're trying to deal with all these things logically, which is the perfect way to deal with financial problems. So yes, some kind of work problem. I'm seeing family here as well. And the King of Swords protects himself and protects his family. He's not always the nicest, kindest person, the King of Swords, actually, but he's fiercely protective of himself and he's fiercely protective of his loved ones. So if they've got children, this person you're with, or this love connection, if they've got children and work problems, money problems all at the same time, that's an enormous stress for them because they're protective of their family. So they're probably even more stressed right now if that's the case with them. So it might be that they're putting all that first. They're putting their own, their own children, their own children, family, all that before any relationship issues. Because this is all about being practical, logical, putting the practical and putting the protection over love, over emotion. So that might be what they're going through right now. Again, with the Ace of Pentacles, that's going to pass. So yeah, there's a lot of stress around communication here as well. So if you are talking to them, they might be being a little bit short with you if they are talking to you. So my feeling is a lot of that is stress. About their problems and also about being on lockdown. That doesn't help. If you can't speak to someone face to face, sometimes, well, you can be on FaceTime, but even then, it's not the same as being with someone properly. So you lose a lot of, the details of what the communication means if you're not speaking to someone face to face a lot of the time. So there's that too. But everything's showing you here. Everything's showing you you're going to get out of this. They're going to get out of this. And I just want to show you something really, really beautiful on this card. Yeah, you can see it there really clearly. When we get out of this time, you're going to be together and you're going to be free together. Look at this card. Just look on the right-hand side of this king up in the sky. Two birds flying off together. So you're going to fly up freely out of this time together. Absolutely beautiful with these two birds. I just love that. That's how this time's ending for the two of you, flying away together freely. Beautiful. That's the first time I've seen that, and this is the first time I've seen the Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles in that sequence, coming out of one time into another time, and then you've got this freedom here with these beautiful birds here. Absolutely beautiful. I love that. I love when I see things like that. I love this reading, actually. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Sun. Absolutely fantastic. Again, look at this wall here in this card. You're going to break out of this time. Just like in the Judgment card, coming out of their boxes, you're breaking out of the barrenness of the Ace of Swords, and you're coming into the Sun card, breaking out of that wall from one horrible side where we're all like that, we're all behind the wall right now, and we're going to come out into freedom. So same thing again, absolutely beautiful. Okay, so there's something else here. Obviously, this card's all about freedom, pure freedom, escaping from the other side of the wall. I'm actually seeing a few different choices here. It feels like freedom of choice to me. A few different things in front of you. I think there might be a few work opportunities or some other kind of business opportunities in front of you. So, I think if you hadn't have started all that shedding that I was seeing in the Lovers card, maybe you wouldn't have seen all these opportunities that are coming up for you in the future. Because if you've got lots of unnecessary people holding you down and pulling you back and asking you for favours and getting in your face all the time, you're not going to have time to see these opportunities. So, yeah, I think you're probably still going through that process of shedding. I'm seeing a bit of that because, obviously this is what's coming up in the future. But yeah, if you're going through that now, getting rid of the negativity, see if you can, because I was seeing, relaxing, meditating, or kind of getting rid of all those negative energies, just spending time away from people if you can. I was seeing a little bit of that in the Wheel of Fortune. So if you can do that, if you can meditate, this is a perfect time for you to do that because you're shattered that's what, or shedded, I don't know if even that's a word. You've shed people and things, that's better, shed. And so you've gotten rid of the old, or you're in the process of doing that. And the next part of that is just sitting with yourself, meditating if that's what you do, and just letting things come in, letting ideas come in. And I think you're going to think about lots and lots and lots of different things that you've always wanted to do, and maybe you've said to yourself, I can't do that, or I won't be able to do that, I'm not good enough, or that's really pie in the sky, that's out there, I don't think that's for me. All of those things are the things you should be writing down. So write all these different things down that you've always wanted to do. And forget all the negative voices telling you can't do things. That's part of what you're shedding. That goes back behind this wall. You're in front of the wall now. So write everything down. Don't censor yourself, all the ideas. Really start to think about this. And I think when you've narrowed it down to a few things, start to think about how that's going to happen. Start planning all that now, because this is really perfect timing to do this, because we're all in this isolation time. We can start planning for when we get out of this time. And so when you get out, you're going to be ready. I'm seeing a few people doing this in their readings. You're not the only one. I've seen this before. I can't remember who, but I saw this in another reading. And so we've got shedding, then we've got meditating, letting the good come in because the bad's gone out. And then we've got planning and executing those things, which we can't do right now, but you can plan for that for when this all comes to an end. So if that's all making sense to you, really start thinking about all this now, because you've got this card, you've got the Ace of Pentacles right in the middle of this reading. This is the time to start planning and thinking about what you can do. And you can be flexible. You can be totally flexible. The whole world's a totally different place than where it was, and you can I'm not saying use the horrible conditions, but I'm saying that you can be quite different in the way that you think about things now than what you would have at one time, if that makes sense. Okay, so the next card you have your future is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so a couple of things here. Obviously this is supporting what I'm seeing in the Sun card. This is about action. So time to take action now. Obviously when everyone else is doing the opposite of action, which is what's happening in the world, this is a really good time to do that. Now, it doesn't mean that you're ready to go out into the world and start running around. Action means, planning, making phone calls, emails, researching, all that kind of thing, so that you are ready. And there are things you can do now as well. Actually, you can take action, things you can do online, all that kind of thing. So I'm not sure if you're experiencing a little bit of this now. I'm seeing a little bit of a negative here, actually. A bit of resistance with this and the Moon card. So I'm going to talk about the two of them. So there's resistance to you moving up. There's some resistance to you ascending, because that's what you're doing. And it's more like a physical ascendance. It's not like a spiritual ascendance. You're very spiritual anyway, but this is more like an ascendance on earth, because we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So it's more ascending up with your place in the world, your job, your career, and just where you are in the world. So you're going to experience this resistance, and you're a quiet achiever. You don't go around bragging, but I think there might be some people around you who aren't all that happy with these changes that are coming to you, especially the takers, because I've seen a couple of those in the Wheel of Fortune. And there's always a little bit of unease when someone who you've been able to take from starts rising up out of that position and into another position. So I'm seeing a little bit of that here. Someone feels very uneasy with the Knight of Wands, because he's uneasy, he's jumping up and down. So someone feels quite uneasy, or they're going to, about the changes you're making in your life. And I'm seeing a little bit of gossip as well in the Moon card. People talking about you, not being very happy.